When it comes to tackling climate change, reducing greenhouse gas emissions is crucial. Companies and organizations have been focusing on measuring and reducing their direct emissions from owned sources like facilities and vehicles, Scope 1, as well as indirect emissions from purchased energy, Scope 2. However, there is a third category of emissions that is often overlooked but can account for the majority of an organization's carbon footprint, Scope 3 emissions. What are Scope 3 emissions? Scope 3 emissions are all indirect emissions that occur in the value chain of an organization, both upstream and downstream. This includes emissions from sources like purchased goods and services, business travel, employee commuting, waste disposal, use of sold products, transportation and distribution. Let's get into it and break down some of the challenges of calculating Scope 3. The first challenge is data availability and quality. Obtaining accurate and complete data for all Scope 3 emission sources can be a significant challenge. Many of these emissions occur outside of the organization's direct control, making data collection difficult and reliant on estimates or data provided by third parties. The second is the nature of supply chains being complicated. Modern supply chains are often global and involve numerous suppliers, contractors, and partners. Tracing emissions across these complex networks can be an arduous task, requiring collaboration and transparency from all parties involved. That's providing they're willing to share information in the first place. The third is lack of standardization. While there are, of course, guidelines and protocols for Scope 3 accounting, they can be complicated and sometimes open to interpretation. Differences in calculation methodologies and assumptions can lead to inconsistencies and difficulties in comparing emissions across organizations or sectors. The fourth challenge is allocation. Allocating emissions from shared or outsourced activities such as transportation or manufacturing can be challenging. Determining an appropriate and fair allocation method requires careful consideration and agreement among stakeholders. The final challenge is relevance and materiality. With so many potential Scope 3 emission sources, organizations must prioritize and focus on the most relevant and material sources. Determining which sources are significant and should be included in the inventory can be a complex and sometimes controversial process. Despite the challenges, measuring and reducing Scope 3 emissions is crucial for organizations to truly understand and address their environmental impact. Collaboration, transparency, and the development of standardized methodologies and tools can help overcome these obstacles. By accurately accounting for Scope 3 emissions, organizations can identify hotspots in their value chain, set meaningful reductions targets, and drive sustainable practices throughout their operations and supply chains. Calculating Scope 3 emissions is a complex endeavor, but it is an essential step for organizations committed to reducing their carbon footprint and contributing to a more sustainable future. By acknowledging and addressing these challenges, we can make progress towards more comprehensive and accurate emissions reporting, enabling effective climate action. If you found this short climate accounting video useful, we'd appreciate it very much if you left a like. And if you'd like to hear more nuggets on carbon accounting and more broadly on climate and climate tech, please do subscribe and click on the bell to enable notifications of when we upload. Finally, we offer the friendliest, easiest to follow climate accounting course in the world that requires no prior knowledge or expertise. So if you're looking to calculate the carbon footprint of your business or organization, or you would like to charge clients to calculate their carbon emissions, we're offering this course with an exclusive 10% off if you use the code YouTube. For more information, see the link in the description or head to footprintconsulting.org/courses.